Hey everybody, it's On Screen Off Screen. Josh calling to myself. We watch things, read things, and play things during the week. And uh, we talk about how it affects our lives and how our lives affect what we play, read, and watch. There we go. Let's see. I'm
Here we go, talking all the things that we love to know, from books to movies, games we replay, taking what we see and bringing it our way. On screen, off screen, come along.
eager to see what these notes mean, Josh. So we'll start with you.
Okay, so my first topic is 007 First Light. I finished the game. The second half of this game is so freaking good. Um, so I wrote ooh, ah, ooh, because that's all I see a crowd doing with like the sets that we go through.
I interpreted that as 00000 because 007 for some reason. And then ah! And then 0000 again.
We got a lot of really good James Bond goodness in this second half of this game. They go to this resort in Thailand, and afterwards, I was like, "Is this a real place? Because I really want to go there." um, it's not a real place, unfortunately, but cool places, really cool action sequences, really awesome James Bond goodness. It really ramps up to the finale of this. It is a 007 origin story, and it ends with letting us know there's going to be a sequel. And I'm just like, I'm really excited about it. I'm like, I really love that I played it. I'm even happy that I paid full price for this game, even though it's not a crazy long game, but the quality of that 20 hours or whatever it is really, really high. So I don't want to give anything plot wise away because I know Conlon should play this. And Lauren may even enjoy some of it. Um,
I very much enjoyed watching that one guy that I sent you
yeah,
clips. He's like, my bellhop, my beloved.
it's just really, really good. I had a great time with it. It's not breaking any new ground. Its mechanics aren't anything groundbreaking or amazing. I still think when they show water, it is like egregiously bad compared to the rest of what we're looking at, but it's not like bad, bad. Um, the writing in it is really good. It's fun to play. If you like James Bond, it's good. It's a really good James Bond thing. That's all I super have to say.
Is
So
this the best James Bond thing?
It's really hard to compare because, like, best in what way? Because, like, the best movie to me is Skyfall, but that's because we get origin of James Bond. We get where he came from. We get that he was an orphan or he was orphaned. We get how that happened and all that kind of stuff. This one's an origin story, but we don't get to know who Bond. We don't really get to know very much of who Bond was before this. There's like one thing in this that bothers me, and that's that James Bond's name really is James Bond. It's not an alias that they gave him like Jason Bourne, where they're like, "This is your new identity." I was like, that's kind of dumb. He walks around saying like, "I'm Bond, James Bond," and nobody's gonna Google that. Like,
it's the perfect thing. They would never suspect a spy telling them their real name.
yeah, especially it's like it's gonna be like he was in the Royal Air Force and this is his service military record, and you would never suspect him loyal to the crown. um, so like that's just like something I had thought before. I don't know if it's ever been established before, but I when in the game his name's James Bond, and then he becomes 007, and he's still James Bond. And I was like, I totally thought that was like a this is your new identity thing, not a like you get to keep your name even though you're a top secret spy for a super secret organization. What are tax records in any way? Like, um, just a small little thing that I happened while playing this game. But yeah, going back to your original question, is it the best? I don't know. I think it is the best version of this kind of game because if I had to choose between this or Indiana Jones or any other like film to game adaptations, I don't think there's anything better. And
What about like Spider-Man? Does that count?
the same way this one would, right? Like Spider-Man is also its own story. They're pretty close for me.
That's
I
high praise. The first Spider-Man is a very good game.
all three Spider-Man games are very good games.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would say the same thing about them. Nothing really groundbreaking or super amazing mechanics wise or story wise or anything. It's just a really good version of Spider Man. This is just a really good version of James Bond. So I think the question is, am I more a James Bond person or a Spider Man person? I think nostalgia would put me slightly on the Spider Man side.
Okay.
But I don't know, it's a really good game. I don't really have any like big complaints about it.
Did you ever play what's the gaming system where people would like blow on the cartridge before they'd like stick it in?
Any of the original Nintendo systems does that. Anything with a cartridge kind of has that. What?
The Nintendo 67 had like the 007 game.
Yeah.
64? Okay.
Had the 007 game.
Yeah. So my brother had that one, and I played that one a lot because I like the music. Like, it was very like creepy long music, and I loved it. Except he always shot me on the gondola because he knew I would always go to the gondola.
Yeah, I did grow up playing GoldenEye, and I think it's No Time to Die is the other James Bond game that came out on that one. I had a Nintendo 64 growing up, so we had those. It's just that's where it ended until Skyfall came out. So there's like this gap of like no James Bond to Josh's life. um, yeah, it's really good. I actually like really love the James Bond theme song, and we get it in the game in a way we don't get it in our shared topic. Like there's always plays on it. I like the twangy sound of the original like GoldenEye game, and we get that again in this game. And it's just it shows up when they're like James Bond will return, just like they do in the Avengers. Another like pet peeve I could point out, be like, stop copying the Avengers. Like, stop saying this character will return. That's a Marvel thing. Not everybody needs to do it, but like, there's nothing wrong with it at the same time. So I don't know. It's a great game. I really like it.
Was the song better than Skyfall?
This one doesn't have a Bond song.
Oh,
The
it does.
game
Okay,
doesn't
so the
have
opening.
one. It's
no
just the
song.
James
Okay.
Bond theme that I'm talking about.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
like traditional. Yeah,
Yeah.
the James Bond theme.
Traditional theme, not the
Yeah.
song. I was mixing that up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Do you wish it had a song?
Yeah, that would be cool. I think that's a James Bond thing.
I'm just gonna keep doing
It
in
might
the
have
background.
actually had one at the beginning. I don't remember. If it did have one, it's forgettable. So
I don't think it probably does because I finished that first opening act and then it goes over to the hotel. It seems like that would be the time where you would have the song.
well, there's a
But maybe I'm wrong. I don't
there's
know.
a cutscene where they say First Light and put the 007 thing.
Okay.
So it could have been there, and if so, it would be a fine song, but nothing super memorable. So
Yeah,
But no.
I freaking love
Skyfall's
that
great.
theme.
yeah,
It's a good one.
it's so good. So I'm gonna give First Light a 8.8. I really liked it. I will replay it again at some point in my life. It's very very fun. It's solid. It came out, and it works. There's no big bugs or anything issues with it. It's single player, it's plot driven, and it's successful. And I think that's super cool.
That is super cool.
What company did this?
Whatever company did Indiana Jones Great Circle. whatever that
Oh, is it the
was.
Hmm.
same company?
I think so. It's for sure the same company that did the Hitman games.
Hitman Games, IO Interactive.
Yep. IO Interactive is both the developer and publisher of this game.
Yeah, they didn't make Indiana Jones, but they did make Hitman.
Very nice. Oh, I was just wondering if it was one of the ones that I would recognize, but cool, cool. All right, let's move on to Conlin's topic.
All right, I'm gonna start with a book version of Housemaid. It's gonna be a short topic, but I really like the Housemaid movie, and this is the only time I have ever read a book and liked the movie better than I like the book. I think they made a couple little changes that make more sense because basic story is really pretty blonde girl gets pregnant. She is lost in the world. She has no money. She falls for a rich guy, and the rich guy basically turns her into a slave. Like that's the basic story. And so, poor girl decides that she is going to get out of this abusive relationship for reasons that are part of the book and part of the movie. She can't get out of the relationship without losing her daughter. So she tricks the rich douchebag horrible guy into falling in love with the housemaid. And that's kind of the start of the story is housemaid gets brought in. Uh, Girl has to act like a complete psychopath to have the rich douchebag switch his obsession on from her onto this new housemaid, pretty blonde young girl. And then the story gets more and more thrilling, more and more investing. And part of the story is that the rich guy is so loving and he's so caring, but when you break one of his rules, he becomes an absolute psychopath. Like he locks people in this upstairs dungeon area basically and like slides uh pliers underneath the door and you need to pull out one of your teeth to be able to get unlocked, or like you broke a plate so he'll slide plates underneath and you need to cut your arm and show that you cut your arm for him to let you out. Complete and utter crazy person. Nobody believes because of things this rich, wealthy, influential person has done. Nobody believes that this abusive stuff is happening. Um, so the thing that made me like the movie better is I think a lot of the details that get brought up in the book don't make a lot of sense. He is so about the rules. Basically, has a mommy complex, and his mom is a pretty blonde, skinny girl, and he's just trying to marry his mother over and over again. And she is so strict to the rules. She punished him when he was growing up over and over again, punished him harshly. She was a very cruel, vindictive person. So in the beginning of the book, it's talking about how our main girl, um, the rich wife, is gaining weight, and that wouldn't slide. I mean, his whole personality is I want blonde, thin, skinny girl. Like that's what I want. I want proper rules. I want proper boundaries. So there's got these little bits and pieces in the details that don't make any sense. Where Amanda Siegfried is literally the embodiment of what that character would be. She does such a good job with the character, and her being skinny and thin and feeling like a rich wife makes sense for the character. When I'm reading the book version of her, she doesn't feel like a rich person's wife. She feels kind of like a slob who would be thrown out in the street or with this character honestly probably killed. Like, it just doesn't make sense for the story as much. So weirdly, all of the extra details makes the story not as cohesive. Where the movie, you're missing a lot of that extra detail, and it makes the story better. It makes it flow better. I think Amanda Siegfried's acting is better than it's actually written in the book. I think the person who plays Millie, what is her name? Famous blonde girl who's on everything all the time. Good genes. What is her name?
Oh, um, no, I can't think of her name. My
Yeah.
brothers freaking love her, and it makes me mad. Uh,
Why does it make you mad?
because I'm like, oh, why do you like her?
Because she has big boobs.
Because she has big boobs. No, I
The
have to.
housemaid. Sydney Sweeney.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, she's huge. She's in everything, and I think she acts the character also better than it's written in the book. Like they both elevate the material in a unique way that I really haven't seen before. I would recommend the movie. I honestly think the movie is good, and I honestly think both of you would enjoy it. I think you should watch it. There's a sex scene you should skip, but it's obvious. Otherwise, it's really good. Super thrilling. It's entertaining. You really hate the guy, like you want him to lose so badly. Oh, and they also changed the ending of the movie, and I like the ending better too. Like the movie is just better.
Having had someone rip a tooth out of my face without a numbing, I think I would have just like freaking. I would have died.
Dude, it's crazy. The dude is absolutely nuts. Basically, he like frames the Amanda Seyfried's character that she has gone crazy and was going to try to kill her child and puts her in a mental hospital for a year. And because of that, she's afraid that if she does something again, he'll just frame her and she'll lose her kid. Like that's the whole like what's gonna happen kind of a thing. That's why she's trying to get out.
Yeah.
But
It's like it's also very interesting to me because like I don't know why I've had a lot of people talk to me about this recently, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, if somebody's treating you bad, why don't you just leave?" And it's like there's so many different circumstances and reasons for that, and it's like this one's an extreme case where it's like he's threatening stuff. Well, I mean, they all threaten, but like, yeah. Uh, so sounds sounds like maybe like it could be good, but maybe trigger warning for some people.
for sure. But I think there's a reason that it was the top book for 2 years. Like
Yeah.
on Amazon, it was 2 years in a row the top book. It's it's just good, and they improved upon the book. Like, give it a shot. Give it a shot. My other good.
Oh, you got.
I was just gonna say my other topic, but was there another question yet?
No, I was gonna ask if you had whatchamacallit, rated it.
The movie I'm giving an 8.5. The book is like a 7,
Oh,
7.5 maybe, somewhere in there. My other topic, I want you guys to watch this. It's really good. It's called Raising the Bar, and it is. I genuinely think Josh in particular would find this super interesting. It's a little cheesy. It is made by a Christian film studio, but it's based off of a real
Angel?
story. Christopia or something like that.
Oh.
Christopher, something like that. I can't remember. But it has that like Christian movie kind of cheese. Like it's in there, but it's really good. It's based off of a real story about a guy named Alma who grew up in the early 1900s, and he would jump farm fences when he was a kid in Parowan, Utah. And he would just like jump fences, and he jumped in this really bizarre way that nobody else really did. So he gets kicked out of school. His teacher is like just complete another horrible person to him. He quits school. He decides he's going to be a ranch hand. And one night he's in the middle of the rain and he needs a house to stay in. So he pays 2 bits to be able to sleep in the same bed as some other random dude. They get talking, and he's a teacher at a different school who happens to be teaching this new thing called track. So he goes to that other school, starts getting educated, and joins the track team. He's never heard of any of this before. He hasn't done any of this, and he ends up being better than everybody at the school at basically everything. Shot put, he's better. Discus, he's better. He doesn't do high jump right then. He does like the 100-yard dash, and he's great at all of it. So this coach is like, you're amazing. We're gonna go over to the state competition. They do the state competition, and he wins state. This guy has never done track before. He just ran around the farm. Because he wins state, he gets connected to the people who are at BYU High at this time. It's BYU Academy for the high school at the time, and gets to go up to that high school. At that high school, he runs into the BYU coach, and the BYU coach sees him just jump something. And he's like, "Hey, come here, boy." And then he sets sets the stick at the time. 6'1" was the national record. He sets it at 6'1", and this kid just jumps over it. And he's like, hey, how would you like to be on the BYU track team? What do you think about that? And he's like, well, I'm not going to BYU. It's like, where are you going? Well, see, sir, I'm 16 years old. And he's like, what? And they get him special permission to go to university early. They send him over to the Olympics. And then there's this typical sports stuff of like, can he jump high enough? He's getting made fun of because he's this country hick, and like the feel good, warmy, great stuff. But it's just a good sports movie, and it's got so much connection to BYU. I know Josh loves BYU. The facts at the end of this movie were the most interesting facts that I've ever seen for a sports movie ever. I found it super interesting. This guy obviously wins gold, like it's the story. He wins gold. And he would go and win gold probably at the next Olympics, but World War I starts, so he doesn't get to compete again. But there's so many political dynamics into this movie. There's I didn't know anything about this character. Apparently, he was one of the best decathlons in the United States history for like 20 years. And he's just a farm boy from Parowan who like went to high school in Beaver for a little while. It's such a cool random story. It's so heartwarming. The acting is all solid. The guy who does the main person is 40 years old, but he plays a 20-year-old. It's crazy. I don't know how he pulls that off. He's got some magic skin routine. I don't know how he did that. It's crazy. I loved this movie. I genuinely did. It made me feel good. It made me happy. You guys should watch it. You really, really should. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I will absolutely watch this again. For sure, without a doubt. Please watch it.
I think it's so funny because I grew up down that area and never even heard of this person. But don't you worry, I know everybody who won what basketball tournament for years.
That's
So if you weren't in basketball, you didn't get talked about. So I'm really sad that this person didn't get talked about more often.
He should have been. He's like a world class athlete. He's actually buried down in Parowan. I want to go to his. This made me want to go to his cemetery. Like that is how much I like this movie.
Well, and it's really funny because we actually had another Olympic athlete from my hometown make it into the Olympics. She didn't get like place or anything, but it was like a huge deal for her to make it there. But
That's super cool. Was it in track or?
it was in track. Yeah, distance running. I think a lot of people. She was in BYU for a long time. Whitney Orton. Well, it's not Orton anymore, but Whitney. But
Cool. Did you know her?
oh yeah, she was the grade below me. Yeah. But,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
So all you people researching, you figure out where I grew up. If you can find an Olympic Whitney. Anyway, cool. Let's go. Oh, it's me. I'm the last topic before our shirt. So I had the opportunity to go to Alex Warren's concert here in Utah. It was really interesting because I've seen a lot of his clips of him at concerts, and apparently this was his biggest venue that he's ever played at, and it
That's
was
shocking.
packed. Yeah, right. That's what I thought too, but I can't remember how many people he said was there, but he's like, "This is the biggest audience," and he looked blown away the entire concert. So it was like kind of cool to see his "Look, Ma, I made it" moment.
That is really cool.
And like it was funny because I could also tell he had toned it down because Utah, and it's really funny watching artists come to Utah and just expecting it to be very toned down.
Imagining everybody in bonnets like, please sing us some scripture verses.
Well, and it's just so funny because I'm like a lot of his fans could be family orientated and stuff, but like when I went to the Ghost concert and they were joking about all that stuff, and I'm like, do you really think that's the people who are here? But It was really funny. Like, my friend Ellie had got me tickets to go to Alex Warren for my birthday in December. So it's been a while for me to get to my present, but it was really nice and fun. We had a really good time, and she bought good tickets. Like we got seat tickets. It was in the Utah Credit Union Amphitheater thing, Utah First or whatever amphitheater, and we had seats and we were pretty close. Like I could see him without my goggles. I got these oh, what were they called? They're opera goggles, so that I can like zoom in. Because that's what I got for the Ghost concert, and I didn't even need those to see him in this one. It was really funny though, and I felt really bad for people who paid a lot of money to get pit tickets because halfway through he changed stages. He had a stage set
Oh,
up in the middle, and he played a lot in that middle stage. And if you were in the pit, you had to watch him on screen. Like you wouldn't be able to see him. But the placement that me and Ellie were, we were halfway in between the middle stage and the front stage, and so it was
you were
perfect for us.
perfect.
Yeah, and it was also really funny. We had sitting seats, and then as soon as Alex got on stage, everybody stood up, and we both like looked at each other because it was late, and we'd been standing all day, and we're like, "Oh, come on!" So we stood up. I was like, "Tell me you're getting old without telling me you're getting old." Um, but I knew every single one of the songs he played. It was really fun. It was a good atmosphere. Um, and then he had like, it was very family centric, and I really enjoyed that. He had like these home videos up on the screen because, like, I don't know if you guys know anything about Alex Warren, but he's been pretty like vocal about like his home life and stuff. And like growing up, it was um, very toxic, and both of his parents died while he was pretty young. His dad died when he was like 9, and then his mom turned to like alcohol for coping, which then didn't help him as a kid because his mom became like abusive towards him and stuff. And he's very vocal about how he's like, the way I was treated was not right. I still love my mom, and like I can still be mad at her and also see what she was going through. And so like the way that he like talks about that, and then you can hear it in his songs and things, is like I'm really glad that he has like that presence of mind and that he's getting the attention that he's getting, because I think his messaging is so good to hear and refreshing. And then he has this video that he's like talking to his future kids on the video, and he's like, "Oh, look, your mom's painting this guitar. Your mom's so talented," and all this stuff, and it's like super cute. And then the light shows up with him on stage, and he's holding the guitar that she had been painting in the little video, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that is so cute!" And it was just like, it was really adorable, and you can see like how much love and passion he has for everything, even after like all of the crap that he's gone through. And then I love how he's like, "Thank you, Book Talk, for making me famous," because his song "Ordinary" got picked up by Book Talk and made it really popular on TikTok.
Why
And
book talk?
because Ordinary, Book Talk took that soundbite and put it towards edits for books, and it made it super
Oh,
popular. And that's now how everybody knows about Alex Warren.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
And it's
That's
really
cool.
funny because I realized that I was an OG fan because I had several of his songs saved, and I had liked some of his really older content, and I didn't realize it was him until I was like listening to Ordinary, and then he came out with a new album, and I went to go listen to his new album, and it's like, "Oh, you have 8 songs saved by Alex Warren," and I was like, "Do I?" And I went back and I was like, "Oh yeah, I love these songs." And so I was like joking to Ellie the whole time we were there. I was like, "I'm an OG fan. I liked him before Ordinary." But yeah, it was a really good time. And then they had like confetti pop up, and he has somebody like press a button during the last song, confetti pops up, and there is this girl, this little girl, she's probably like 3 or 4 years old, that their parents like held up a sign like, "I want to be your button pusher today." So he called her up to the stage and he helped her press the button, and confetti went everywhere. And I kept like trying to grab some of the confetti because I'm like, that'd be such a good little keepsake, and I couldn't get any. And I was like, "Ah, fine." The girl in front of me got like the one piece coming our way, and I was like, "Ah, fine, that's fine." But then all of a sudden, he like disappears from the stage again, goes running around to the middle stage, and then even more confetti popped up, and then it was just like snow on us, and I had it like in my shirt everywhere. It was in my hair. So like as we are walking back, I was like, "There's a keepsake. There's a keepsake." And then I was just able to like press it in the book that I bought that day, and it was a really good concert, and I'm glad that he's getting to like live his dream and that it's working out for him. And I loved that, like, because I remember talking to Ellie right before he came up on stage, and I was like, I don't know if I like his personality yet, because like he's does a lot of stuff to like promote his music on TikTok, and I was like, I don't know, it feels like a little too Gen Z, trying too hard or whatever. But then the whole time he was like performing, he was very humble and witty, and I was like, okay, I like it. I
Get a
get
little
what you.
crush.
Not a crush. He has a wife. I don't.
Oh,
So I'm like, that's I'm crushing on their relationship. That's a thing. I think their relationship is great, and um I'm really happy for them, and I love that it's making a lot of good music. So yeah, because he wrote "Ordinary" about his wife and stuff, and like just seeing their TikToks together is really cute. But yeah, 10 out of 10 concert. Really liked it. Really enjoyed it. It was a good atmosphere. His fans were great, nice. Um, yeah, it was really
was
good.
it better than Ghost?
Um, for like different experience. They're both 10 out of 10s. This was a lot different because I was there with my best friend, and his mixing for the concert was great. Were you at the Ghost concert?
No, I wasn't.
Josh just went,
You just said your best friend, and it wasn't me, so offended. Just kidding.
um, but yeah, I would say if I were basing it on the mix of the sound, Alex Warren wins, hands down. Um,
Okay.
he had a really good mix. His voice came out very clear. It was great. I like when Alex Warren ended, I was like, "Yay, that's fun! I had a good time with my friend." And then, but like when Ghost ended, I did not want it to end. I wanted it to stay there. I like wanted that atmosphere to continue. Um, so if I was going by myself, Ghost. If I was going with somebody, Alex Warren. Um, but yeah, I feel
Okay.
like I was on a much more higher high and wanting and more excited about Ghost than I was Alex Warren. So I think this was like a surprise that I actually enjoyed it as much as I did. Um,
But if they both came back the same night,
Ghost.
you would. Okay. Okay.
I got a Ghost.
Answered. Answered.
Yeah. If I had free tickets to Mosh Pit somewhere, it'd be Ghost.
I'm glad
Um,
you had a good time, bro.
yeah. No hate, Alex Warren. I just really like Ghost. Um, but yeah, with that, we'll segue into our shared topic, Doctor No, which is another 007 movie. Um, I believe this was a Josh one.
Nope, it was me.
Oh, it was a common one. Let's hear it.
Okay. I'm really sad that I have to say this, but Casino Royale has been my least favorite James Bond movie for a really, really long time. And I think it is, but this is my second least favorite, and it's easily like I like all of their James Bond movies besides those two. This I don't think is a good movie. I think James Bond for most of the movie is just doing stuff, and they make excuses to show as much skin on the blonde girl as they possibly can, and that's basically most of this movie is them like running around the jungle talking about Miss Dr. No. I'm like, why do you even care about Dr. No? It doesn't even tell us why we're supposed to care about this random Asian dude who lives on an island that you're running around for who the hell knows what reason. And there's a bunch of I don't feel like James Bond was old, but this is one where I'm usually not the stereotype guy, but this is like full of stereotypes. The entire movie is stereotypes, and they're not funny stereotypes. They're just like stereotypes to be stereotypes, and the acting is bad. And man, this is worse than I need to rewatch the other James Bond to see if this one's worse. I don't know because this was not a good movie. And the black guy is like a terrible actor the entire time. He can't act at all. It's not like he's old acting; he's just bad at it. Uh, this is weird. I've never thought this before in my life. But Sean Connery, usually a really handsome guy, his eyebrows would like to hear. And I was like, "What is going on with your eyebrows, my guy? What's going on?" Um, that's such a stupid little side topic, but I this is easily the worst Sean Connery James Bond without a doubt. Um, the ending sequence is kind of good. I like the introduction of the big criminal enterprise that they're fighting against and like the reason why we care about Dr. No that it doesn't talk about until later in the movie. I don't have that much to say besides I guess this is a pretty place. Bad acting, really stupid plot. The whole danger sign and he just twists a knob and then all of a sudden everything goes bad was dumb. It's a dumb movie. I don't like this movie. I don't have a lot of good things to say. Boo. Not watching it again. If I did a full rerun, I would skip this one. Everyone should skip this one. This should be at the bottom of every Sean Connery list. The fact that it's not when I was looking at it is mind boggling to me. The fact that anyone could have this as the top of their Sean Connery list, you are out of your mind. Go get therapy. You are wrong.
All right, Josh, do you concur?
Don't like this movie.
What's your rating, Conlon?
I'm giving this one a 2. I'm giving it a 2. All right, Sean Connery. So I'll give it a 2.5. I'll give it a 2.5. Sean Connery gets a half a point because it's still Sean Connery. Guy's the man. It's a pretty place, and I do kind of like the end, sort of. That's it.
Okay. Do I concur? No. Uh, it's not great. It's not good. Um, I had a problem with the um, nuclear facility scene where he turns the knob. Not because of any reason Conlon just said, but because I'm a nerd and I was sitting there like, that's not how nuclear reactors work. Um, I felt like the ending really, really sucked. He pushes him into the water, but like basic understanding of a nuclear reactor, it's a very fancy steam engine. That's all it really is. So James Bond defeated the bad guy by pushing him in warm water. Radiated to shit. Would he have severe problems, get cancer, and probably die? Yeah, probably. But like if we go to Chernobyl
They
happens.
survived the radiated water.
They sent 3 divers into radiated water, told them that they would have weeks to live. All 3 of them survived and had long, happy lives, never got cancer. So, like, the nerd in me was like, that's just so stupid. A, they wouldn't be sitting in the room with the rods. because that's where it creates steam.
That's
It's where all the
stupid.
stuff happens, where all the radiation happens, where the uranium is. It's dumb. Uh, Conlon just missed the purpose, and I don't blame him for the purpose of why we care, because it is a stupid purpose. The purpose is this island is close enough that it is messing with the signals of the rockets, not like missile rockets from America, but like American Apollo's program. That's what they were worried about. They're like, you're going to interfere with the radio signals from the Apollo rockets. And I was like, they had one radio signal, and it was to say, Houston, I'm here. Like, these weren't super high tech rockets that like were being super controlled by ground control. All the computers were on board. Like, oh no! The astronauts can't talk to Houston while they're launching, which they can't do anyway. What a terrible thing. So it was just like a stupid plot. The acting wasn't super great. I don't think it was as bad as Conlon says it is. He's right that they were just showing as much cleavage in skin on the blonde girl as possible. They kept making excuses for her to get naked, and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
once you
Literally
might
the
get away with, but it happens like 6 times.
over and over. And the part where they have the wet t-shirt and she's not wearing anything underneath, I was like, I can't believe you got away with that. Like, genuinely, in the 1950s, I cannot believe they got away with that.
Oh, I can. Every time you see a 1950s movie, it's like they got away with that, and it's like, well, they were a lot more perverted than we give them credit for. Um, but yeah, it's not a strong one. It's not a super good one. I don't think it's appalling. Um, it's a weaker James Bond movie, but you still get some James Bond goodness. You still get some good James Bond music that I brought up before. You still get Sean Connery. The scene where he's crawling through the vents is really, really cool until the next
Best
problem I
part of the
have
movie.
where they dump water in on him and then he crawls down and out and there's no water on the floor. And I was like, where did the water go? Where did it go? And then like he has to like rip off his shirt to use it as like oven mitts, and I'm like, that's a thin
It's
piece
so
of fabric.
dumb.
What if it's too hot?
It's so
That means you're
dumb.
going deeper into the reactor. Maybe go the other way. Maybe get out. Maybe there's like 20 different pathways they show off. He doesn't have to go that way. Um, the scene where he rescues her, she's like in this pit, chained up, and I'm like, why? Why do they have that? Why did the designers of this building be like, we need a ramp that goes down into this pipe and we're gonna put chains on it so that we can tie people down in this exact spot? Okay. There's a scene where they put the two main characters, James Bond and the girl, in this room and then they knock them out for some reason, even though they were completely cooperating. And then they wake up to completely fitted clothes. And I'm like, imagine being the guy working there and they were like, hey, they're knocked out now. Go measure them so that we can have fitted clothes for them when they wake up. And then you have to sew custom made clothes because there's no way a Chinese guy is going to have the same size clothes as our 6'4" James Bond. But yet he wakes up perfectly fitted clothes, varied. I'm like, there's some absolute silly ridiculousness to this movie. I can see some charm in it. Um, but yeah, in terms of Bond, it's definitely not good Bond. In terms of a movie, would I rather watch this or Black Panther? Probably Black Panther by just a little bit. Um, but yeah, I don't know. With James Bond rated movies, I don't take it any stock in them because Literally, somebody has one of the James Bond movies as their top one. There's like no universally accepted good or
It's
bad
very different.
Bonds, except I think Skyfall is in most people's top half. But like
Most people like
everything
them.
else is completely wild, off the rails, all over the place. So I don't know.
But like even the song is bad. And I was watching it and I was baffled because usually like the opening silhouette sequences, I'm like, I like the silhouette sequence. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool part of James Bond. This one, there's like a disco white silhouette, and then there's some old men that are crossing the screen, and I'm like, what am I watching? This is not James Bond. Why are there old people walking across the screen? This is stupid.
I agree with you. Not a good song. It's not an appalling song. I don't like the silhouette sequence, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I watched. I looked at a list, and I was like, okay, this has got to be towards the bottom of everybody's list of songs, right? And I saw a list, and Doctor No was not on the list. And at first, I was mad. I was like, why didn't you put it at the bottom? And then I was like, you're right. It's not even worth mentioning. It shouldn't be on a list. It's that bad.
It's pretty forgettable, but like, what is it? Casino Royale, where the lyrics are "bang bang, I shoot you, and you die." Like it's better than that. Like I do think it was better than that
Oh.
crap. Like
Can't have straightforward lyrics, people.
anyway. Okay, Lauren,
Uh,
which of us is more
Um,
right, or are we both completely wrong?
Or it's like,
so
this is the epitome of cinema.
yeah, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. It's my new top 10. It beats Lord of the Rings. Blows it out of the park. No, I didn't even make it past the first scene. Because I was cooking while I was watching it, and I was like, oh, they're talking, and I was like, why doesn't Sean Connery sound like this?
That was really good.
Thank you.
That was good, Laura.
And so I was like, that's not my Sean Connery. Where's Sean Connery? And so it was weirding me out to the point that I wasn't paying attention to what they were saying. So I started over, and I didn't know what they were saying still, and I couldn't pay attention. And so I just kept cooking, and then I looked over. I was like, is there any action happening? No, okay. So then I just kept cooking. And then I got distracted, and I never put it back on. That's my experience with this.
I think that's
And
an
I feel
accurate experience. It's not really worth watching, but I also don't think it's worth raging at with this one.
yeah. So I'm glad I didn't watch it, the rest of it. So I don't think I watched enough to rate it. So I'm glad you guys had experiences. um, with that, we hope you guys have good experiences this week. Our next topic is for next week, The Dark and the Wicked. So watch that and hear us talk about or rage at it or love it next week. Bye.